بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين waxaan maanta idiin wadaa borogaramadii hore ahayn ayaan maanta idiin wadaa waxaan rabaa inaan yara bedbedelo borogaraamkii anxiety ee ahaa alashaan maxaan dhahdaa xanuunada nafsiyanka waan ka yara waxbaan dhex gelgelinayaa waxaan rajeynayaa inaad ka heshaan qeybtan dambe cusub waxay ka hadlaysaa maanta qeybtan cusub waxyaaba inaan u maleynayo inaynan wadankeena aynan ku arkin ina inagu soomaali ahaan aynan isku arkin baan u maleynayaa marka nimkaan doonaya tan dambe aan ka hadlayo waxa weeye waxaan rabay waxaa la programkan I didn't know I was pregnant waxa weeye macnaheedu maan isugeen weeyaan maan isugeen uur leeyahay weeyaan waa qisooyin ku cusub inaga waan malina inaga anu waan u daawaday waxaan arkay inaan inagu aan waxba inaan ka ogey sheekooyinka noocaasaya anigu horta kole ma arag kamana dhex maqal Soomaali bay waxaan kale ku dhacaan ma arag marka sheekeer baan idiin soo qabtay gabadh maxaan dhahdayay African America ba shikadan ku dhacday dad badan bay ku dhacdaan iyo madow ku dhacday marka waxay ka sheekeynaysaa qisada sidii uurka u yeelatay sidaanay ogeyn 9 bilood oo dhan caadadii bay helaysay cunteedu normal buu ahaa caloosha maxaan dhahdaa waxba kumay calooshu may weynaanin dharkeedii kamay weynaanin wax isbedelo ku soo kordhay ma jirto aan ahayn daal iyo maxaan dhahdayay yara caajis wax yar iyo marka qaarkood kaada ku yara badato marka maxaan dhahdayay iyadoo suuqa iska marayso santar dhex maraysaba ayaa maxaan dhahday fooshi qabato markay xanuun qabtayna loo yimi meeshana waxaba ilmaaba dhashayba marka qisada noocaas oo kale ah ayaan maanta inoo soo qabtay oo inoo maxaan dhahdaa waxaan jecelahay waxaan rajeynayaa inaad ka heshaan oo maxaan xiiseysaan oo wax kale waxaan filayaa wax inaga inagu cusub baan filayaa marka dee daawasho wanaagsan anigu maxaan dhahdaa waxaan ka soo xigtay online-ka maxaan dhahdaa YouTube-yada ka soo xigtay barnaamijkii isagoo fresh baan idin soo geliyay dee waxaan ku yiri daawasho wanaagsan iyo maxaan dhahdaa soo noqon dambe مع السلامة.
Sent a stop room to a baby she didn't even know she was carrying. The baby wasn't crying, and paramedics were uncertain about the baby's chances of survival.
Me looking at his little face like, okay, what's going on? It was a scary moment. I was thinking to myself, my baby's dead.
When a newborn isn't crying, it's concerning because crying is the mechanism whereby the lungs open up and the baby can begin to receive oxygen by breathing. It's important to start resuscitative efforts of drying the baby off and giving extra oxygen as soon as possible.
The EMT did his little suction and everything. That's when he started crying.
The first time I heard the baby cry, it was like a bombshell because I couldn't get over the fact that the little thing crying was my son.
I was like, I just had a baby. I didn't know I was pregnant. And I was in shock. The father was in shock also. And then they told me that I had to deliver my placenta.
Knowing the infant was in need of urgent care, the paramedics prepared Yanel and her newborn to be transferred to the hospital.
As they took me inside the ambulance, I noticed the baby wasn't crying.
The baby remained silent all the way to the hospital.
He looked scary like a zombie. Then I'm thinking to myself, what if the baby's dead?
Why isn't he crying? He's just being quiet, that's all.
It was a scary moment.
As soon as they arrived, doctors examined the abnormally quiet newborn.
A lot of concerns came to my mind, the poor dieting and not so healthy food, lifestyle choices that we had made automatically put a huge fear in me.
Nutrition is a very important component of pregnancy. It's important that during pregnancy we avoid certain foods that can pose risk of serious infection and consequences to the baby.
I'm thinking something's wrong with him. I'm a mother now. I know something is wrong. He's really still, so still. I don't want to hold the baby because I'm thinking to myself, I don't want this baby to die in my arms. He got his shots. Then he started crying, and I'm like, oh my God.
The baby boy weighed 2.78 kilograms and was full term. But due to the circumstances of his birth, doctors decided to run more tests. While the newborn was being examined, Yanel and Dennis discussed their future.
I'm gonna have to give him up. I'm thinking I'm gonna give it up for adoption. I'm only 20, I'm not even married yet. That's against the law for me and my family. How am I supposed to care for a baby?
You want to give him up for adoption?
I always felt that I would never have children. So me and Yanel started talking about adoption.
There were things I had planned on doing before ever having a kid.
There was two people's lives that were basically tied to the fate of the baby.
Maybe you're right.
What other option do we have?
It was extremely hard for me to have that conversation about adoption with Yanel.
I gotta think about my life, Dennis' life. What are we gonna do? I wasn't ready. Adoption is the only thing we could do now. I believe that the nurse heard us talking, that she gave Dennis the baby, and he held it.
It was just as soon as they placed him in my hands, it was just like I couldn't give him up.
There's no way we can.
Dennis told me not to give the baby away. He said we can do it, us too.
Yes.
When he told me that, that was a very emotional moment for me. I'm like, really? It made me feel really happy knowing that I was not gonna go through this on my own.
I'm here for you.
And he was gonna be there by my side 24/7 now.
No way we're giving him away.
Oh snap, I'm a mom. And I couldn't believe it until I started touching him from head to toe. I touched his little feet. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a mom. Dennis, you're a dad.
You're a daddy.
I named the baby Dennis James after his father. Then from there, he called his parents. I called my parents. My parents weren't having it. His parents started crying because they were so happy. So we got different reactions from both sides of the family.
News of the baby's arrival shocked Yanel's best friend, Vijay.
Of course, I didn't believe her because I thought, we play tricks on each other like that. So I figured it was just a joke. It was a baby boy. And I was really excited.
Everybody started messaging me saying, you had a baby, congratulations. I didn't know you were pregnant. I'm like, I didn't know I was either.
Looking back on her pregnancy, Yanel tries to work out when and how she got pregnant.
I really don't know when I got pregnant. Maybe it was around Valentine's Day.
You be like that, really?
Me and Dennis, we always use protection. So what went wrong?
Condoms can be tricky and they can break and come off. So when most people are using condoms for pregnancy prevention, there's a 15% chance they'll get pregnant over a period of a year.
Right, she can do it, come on.
The whole time she was pregnant, she didn't have a stomach. She was always normal.
Sometimes I felt tired, but of course that was from school running back and forth. I didn't think it was because I was pregnant. Through my 9 months, I had my period every month.
During a pregnancy, a woman cannot have an actual period, but there can be bleeding in pregnancy. This bleeding can happen for 1 to 3 days at a time and could be mistaken for a period by a woman who's not keeping very accurate track of her periods.
I did pee a lot. That was around March.
Frequent urination is a common symptom of pregnancy because the kidneys are just making more stuff to go into the bladder. So part of pregnancy physiology is to have to go to the bathroom more frequently.
The doctor never mentioned that I was pregnant or anything like that.
The surprised couple quickly learned to adjust to their new roles as parents.
I didn't have enough time to prepare, so I had to buy a stroller, a crib, you know, basically remodify my whole room for the newest addition of the family.
Today, baby Dennis is happy and healthy.
His smile is priceless. It really is. Dennis is excited to be a father.
The baby has had a very positive impact on our relationship because now we're able to connect in a more deeper level.
My plans for the future is get married this year, hopefully, and finish school. I'm not gonna stop going to school or